Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Long Live the Queen. As you'll recall, last episode we were doing pretty decently by adhering to the proper princess route, by doing what was expected of us and listening to our advisors. We didn't have any major negative things except for the guy who tried to assassinate us at the tournament. But thankfully our trained bird saved us, so that was pretty cool. But then suddenly, and we had the poison box of chocolates. We have no idea who tried to poison us, but somebody did. Thankfully our dog alerted us that it wasn't good. So it's very good that we had our dog and that we trained up a dog. Now, after the tournament, and after the poison chocolates, we found out that we were being invaded by Shangia, which is a very aggressive expansionist kingdom that's trying to become an empire, and they decided to target us. There was a huge naval battle, and we lost. And now the people from Shangia are closing in on our capital. And that's where we left off. So let's jump right back into it. We're going to load our file. Let me rewind a little bit. A diplomatic delegation from Shangia has requested access to the castle to discuss terms, most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies, and surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem that you have no choice. Almost no choice. Your fiancé, the Duke of Talarist of Sedna, has sent you a message. He does not personally command enough soldiers to turn the tide against this invasion, but his king in Talassi is eager to discuss a formal alliance. If you flee the capital now, you should be able to evade the army and reach the Talasian border. We're not going to do that. We're going to meet with the diplomats and see if we can't somehow figure out a way out of this. Because if we run away, we're abandoning our people. You prepare yourself as best you can to meet with the representatives from Shangia. And here comes my favorite track in the whole game. Let's listen to it for a moment. Very nice. You expected diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect the handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you, a man announced by your servants as Tagami, the king of Shangia. The current leader of Shangia should be Queen Junko. Is this her husband or an usurper? My dear young lady, how difficult this must be for you. So much responsibility at such a tender age. You yearn to slap the false sympathy off his oily face, but you force yourself to remain calm. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better to settle things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the powers of a lumen. I propose a formal duel. My powers against yours. The winner takes control of Nova. The loser dies. But I'm not a lumen. Saving it for the coronation, were you? Such a pity that you'll be unprepared. Well then, go and find your crystal. Becoming a lumen is a very simple matter. Then we can have our duel. What's the point? You know I can't win. Why don't you just kill me now? Because that's not the game. You want to save your people, don't you? I want to fight a lumen. If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal Lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion even if I win. Really? I swear it by the gods. Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I don't like this, but what choice do I have? We don't have a choice. We must accept his terms. We're going to have to become a Lumen and fight the king of Shangia in a battle to the death. We don't know anything about magic because we were following our father's orders and stayed away from all magic. We did a bit of studying of the lore of magic and found out why our father wanted us to stay away from it, because wherever there's magic, there's bad stuff in this universe. But we don't have a choice. I guess this is it. Then I must. No, not my little girl. You want to fight the Lumen ruler of Nova? Your father reaches into his pocket and pulls out a shimmering blue crystal, which he places over his heart. Illuminate! Your hair stands on end as a veil of blue sparkles settles over your father, crawling into his skin. When it's over, the jewel has been absorbed into his body without a trace. Fight me. Leave her alone. Well, this is not what I expected, but it will serve my purposes just as well. Daddy? Be quiet, Elodie. You are not a queen yet. You are forced to sit and watch as the two men work out the details of the duel and its stakes, then take their places in a carefully worded circle. Your father crosses his arms, summoning up a thick gray fog that swirls around him, hiding him from view, but the Shangian king conjures a cloud of glowing butterflies which drives into the fog to blow it apart. Then the invader clasps his hands together and chants. Fiery red lights cluster over his fingertips and merge together into a pulsing blob before erupting towards your father. He resists with a beam of blue, catching the infernal energy and pushing it back in Tagami's direction. You knew what the outcome would be. You knew it all along. Tagami is a trained Lumen, eager to demonstrate his powers, and your father was your father. The blue crystal reappears, lying beside your father's body like an innocently discarded bauble, but now that blue color is colored by a faint wash of red. The smirking king of Shangia sweeps the crystal off the floor and tucks it away into his robes. How fitting. First I end your mother's life and then your father's. You what? You didn't think her death was an accident, did you? That took careful planning. And now the Novan power is mine, and you even get to live. He holds a hand out in front of him, the elegant robe dangling freely. Now kneel and kiss my hand. You stare at that horrible hand hovering before you. You have a choice. Well, if we attack him, we'll probably die, so we don't have any choice but to obey. Ugh. We should have upped our composure a little bit more. But this is a bit more thematic, I bet. We are a proper princess, after all. Swallowing your pride, you kneel and press your lips to the backs of his cold fingers. Good girl. Well, as I promised, the invasion will end, and my men and I will return across the sea. Unless one of you is so foolish as to attack me, then all deals are off. No one stirs. Pity. Damn. Damn, our father sacrificed his life for us. Damn. And then we had to kiss the hand of the person who killed not just our father, but our mother too. Damn, what a kick in the balls. Sorry for my language, but Jesus. I needed some soda after that. Excuse me. What a ride. And we're going to attend court. You attend court sessions and try to focus your attention on the needs of the domain. It's what your father would have wanted. And now we're depressed as hell. So, Because of this, we're going to become more religious and study the faith. I believe lore is at max? Almost. We can max that out pretty easy. You stare into a polished crystal ball and relax, letting your mind wander. You close your eyes and visualize the crystal ball floating in front of your eyes. You read about the signs that have pressed famous disasters such as the seas running red before the doom shadow fell upon Nova 200 years ago. You read about King Latimir and how he knew he was destined for greatness when he saw the shape of a crown in a spider's web. Interesting. The war has ended and the Shangians have withdrawn. All throughout Nova, a fragile layer of calm lies over a deeper pit of uncertainty and fear. Your court musician has already constructed an epic ballad about your father's last moments, his nobility, his love, his brave sacrifice. His praises are sung in every village square. Rich merchants foresee a great trade in artwork commemorating both of your parents. That doesn't make them any less dead. Ouch. Okay, we're going to attend services. We're going to try to find some peace. Okay. You close your eyes and visualize a crystal ball floating through the air, moving past your eyes and into your mind, filling you with light. You learn to visualize the space around you so that you can see the whole room with your eyes closed. You read about animal omens, in particular the flights of birds. You learn about signs which sometimes appear in grounds or leaves at the bottoms of a cup. Visitors have arrived to see you, your family, or what remains of it. My poor darling Elodie, you should not be alone at a time like this. There is so much still to be done and you're so young. We have come to give you whatever help we can. Thank you. She's right after all. You have a coronation to plan, a domain to run, and without your father, you need some adult to give you advice. Time has slipped by you so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshment for the common people when a new monarch is crowned. It is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. Considering the recent tragedy, celebrations may appear to be in poor taste. The size and scope of any such feast depends on what expense the royal treasury is willing to bear. Because our father just died, and we lost a major war, we're not going to have a celebration. It would be improper. There are more practical uses for Nova's coin, after all. And we're going to visit Charlotte, our cousin, because we're sad and we want our family. Lodi, I'm sorry about your dad. Why? Why does it always have to be something like this before we get to see each other? I'm sorry. For a while, all you can do is cling to your cousin and cry. At least you are not alone. Meditation and divination once more, which should max them out. Excellent. You discover that if you put yourself into the right frame of mind, your entire body begins to glow faintly. You discover that if you put yourself in the right frame of mind, you really can see with your eyes closed. You discover that if you put yourself in the right frame of mind, you can sense things happening in nearby rooms, even behind closed doors. You have nothing more to learn about meditation. You study the interpretation of dreams with warnings that dreams are easily forgotten, misremembered, or warped by thoughts and desires rather than true vision. You study the stars and learn about the omens they hold, with warnings that the stars are seen by all, and their portents may not be meant for you. You learn that priestesses have other ways of requesting omens from the gods, but that they won't share them with someone not initiated into the mysteries. You have nothing more to learn about divination. The castle is buzzing with preparations for your upcoming coronation. Ministers press you with details for your favorite colors and flowers and so on. You really can't see the point of wasting time worrying about decorations when there's so much else to worry about. Others are more interested in the subject of your marriage. My dear child, there's no shame in delaying matters for a little while. You're so young, and you've been through so much. I could not bear the thought of my own little Charlotte rushed into marriage at your age. Remember poor Kayleigh, the last Duchess of Elaf? She was only 17 when she died. I'm not suggesting that you break your word to your fiancé, only that you take the time to reflect. Our aunt may be right. It may be the best thing to do to wait. I mean, we only met Talaris, what, a month and a half ago? So maybe if we, like, have a courtship period before the official wedding, and we're about to get coronated, so maybe it's best not to rush these things. So we'll delay. You're probably right. There's no need to hurry. And we're attending service. And we're at the final week. We'll do one in lore and one in dance. It is now believed that strong magical powers attract danger. Yes, I agree. Therefore, after the Doom Shadow was banished, the crystals of the fallen dukes and duchesses were destroyed. Only the crown and the Duchy of Ursul maintain active lumens. You have nothing more to learn about lore. You work through the standard repertoire of ballroom dancing, being sure you know the basic steps for any dance likely to be required of you in a social setting. You may now attend ballroom dancing on the weekends, and our skill needs to be higher. And here we are. At this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you tea and cakes, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. Let me have a quick drink of soda. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchess or earls or the like someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts, some for you and some for you to share. And a week later they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her through the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. You wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing the words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and through you to all of Nova, and then she calls upon you for your oath of rulership. Excuse me. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability according to law and custom? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen who has sworn you her loyalty. You who have come to give homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchy approaches your throne and kneels to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, daughter of Fidelia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Long live the Queen! Long live the Queen! Thank you, I will. And so it is. Oh, we made it to the ending. Let's see what kind of ending we got. I have a feeling it's not going to be a very good one. After the coronation, in a private ceremony with the High Priestess, Elodie was officially offered her mother's lumen crystal. She refused to accept it. For the first time in centuries, magic would have no hold on the throne of Nova. The tragic events of the past left a gap in the Novan power structure since Jocelyn, Duke of Caloris, died with no acknowledged heir to his title. Elodie, of course, was the reigning queen, which by tradition would prevent her from holding the duchy as well. Lacking a better option, Elodie chose to leave the title empty for the moment, appointing administrators to govern Caloris until either she or her paternal uncle could produce an heir of the blood. A young tanner in Caloris did claim to be Jocelyn's natural son, the result of a youthful liaison with a serving maid. However, with both of his supposed parents now dead, his claim was impossible to prove, and the Queen chose not to recognize this possible half-brother. Not long afterwards, the Queen was struck down by a terrible fever, which left her bedridden and delirious for weeks. Thanks to the loving attentions of her aunt, she has eventually recovered most of her health, but it seemed likely she would never bear any children. During Elodie's reign, the public opinion of lumens and magic in general would fall to a new low. Parents taught their children that lumen power was all tied up with witchcraft and blood sacrifice, and would always lead to sorrow in the end. In some territories, any village outcast found to be in possession of a shiny bit of rock was likely to fall victim to a lynch mob, and the miscreants were rarely punished. Better safe than sorry when it came to magic, after all. Even healers and priestesses were eyed with some suspicion. Who knows what costs their powers might have? The young queen sponsored expeditions of trained knights to venture into the old forest and attempt to exterminate the monsters within. Unfortunately, black magic would not give up its grip on Nova so easily. Many lives were lost, and with their blood, the monsters appeared to grow even stronger. True to his word, Tagami and the Shanjians ignored Nova in the years to come, focusing their efforts instead on the far northern continent of Borealis. Long ago, Borealis had been home to the largest known collection of lumens in the world. If their crystals remained and Tagami found them, he could become unstoppable. Or else, Elodie prayed, the magic itself might turn upon him and destroy him. Surely no one man was meant to control that much power. Even an entire domain was too small a space. That was, after all, what had turned Borealis into a wasteland. Perhaps some remnant of that ancient war would still be active and swallow him whole. Elodie and Talaris carried out a long courtship before finally holding a lavish wedding ceremony to which all the neighboring heads of state were invited. As the years passed and no children were produced, their relationship grew strained. At last, pleading his desire for a family, Talaris requested a divorce, which Elodie granted. It seemed she was destined to live her life alone. Oh my goodness. We got married, but then we divorced. Oh no. As for the royal succession, it seemed most likely that it would pass from Elodie to one of her cousins, Lucille's children. Elodie never truly got over the loss of her parents. She sought solace in religion, wanting to believe that everything that happened was part of some greater plan, and therefore willingly accepted the guidance of the High Priestess when it came to making decisions for Nova. And thus, Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. Oh man. Oh man, what a gut punch. Oh man. So, both of our parents were killed by evil kings. We got divorced because we randomly came down with an illness that made us barren. And then we didn't have children, we were divorced by our husband, and then we basically became a nun. So, yeah. Damn. What a plot twist. That's probably the worst ending, in my opinion, because of just how depressing it is. I mean, there are ones that are kind of worse, but this one is the one that's just one depressing thing after another, after another, after another. Oh, poor Elodie. And it's a subversion, because you would think that if you did the stereotypical cliche proper princess route, that, oh, everything's going to be fine. We're going to do what we're told. We're going to be a good queen. Everything's going to work out. And it did not in any way, shape, or form. We did survive to our coronation, which is a plus, but goodness. But yeah, that is Long Live the Queen. I'm glad I got to finally live stream that. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm going to be streaming it more as I have the house to myself. Throughout the future, I don't mean today. Yeah. I'm definitely going to do more of this. I want to show all of the major endings. And we'll end on the best ending and see, you know. Because there's different endings and some of them are good and others are not so good. but I'll show you the one eventually that I think is the best ending, because there's different combinations of circumstances, so it's really up to your interpretation. But yeah, I think that is just about everything for this. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.